viewers and subscribers, welcome back again. Africans, black nations across the world, you need this truth as it is spoken by Julius Malema of South Africa. When they try to define democracy according to their own specification as against the will and aspiration of we, the black nations, especially in Africa. Listen to this.
This thing of territorial threats, we know them here. We've got an army base here in Botswana. What is America doing here in Botswana? Why is Africa not in American borders? What do you call that? And you come and say imperialism and colonialism is finished. When people expand their territorial expansion through putting military bases at our borders. There's a military base here. A study has been conducted that a fighter jet that moves from that army base to the Union building will not take less than 2 minutes to bomb the Union building. If a war is declared with America, America does not have to assemble any resource from Washington or anywhere else to come here. They are already here. What do you call that? It's democracy. It's free world. We must celebrate that and say, no, imperialism is no longer there. It's in our head. We understand what Putin is fighting against because we have it here. Here. What is it doing here? We never went to Asia. We never went to Europe. We never went to America. We are here. We don't establish bases anywhere. Why should you establish bases in military bases in our continent? And when we speak, it's called old-fashioned politics. That they are out of fashion. There's no such a thing as imperialism. When imperialism is breathing on our neck, yeah, we're not going to allow that. We are going to expose that American military base here all the time in the platforms we get and educate our people that this is exactly what Putin is fighting against. America will not allow that. That Russia must go and establish a military base in Cuba with missiles facing the USA. They won't allow that. So we must not be allowed, we must not be asked to accept the things that you will not accept if they were to happen in your countries. And that's what we're talking about when we speak about NATO and peace not going together.
Good. Can you imagine? Can you just imagine? This is their own kind of democracy. And thank God for people like Julius Malema of South Africa. We need these men to rise from different nations of Africa and free Africans once and for all from imperialism. You are teaching us democracy, pointing guns and heavy war machines on our heads, putting up your military base in our backyards, and you are there to crucify Putin for fighting to stop you doing same around his border. You now see why they will always prefer puppets of the West to be leaders in Africa. They are the agents of neo-colonialism.
The impact of European and American and Russian and Chinese interference is a raw wound. It is not something that is in the past. It is something that is happening as we speak. And therefore, when we speak to it, we are speaking to it to warn ourselves of the reality. When we speak about the Danidas and the NGOs, these are bodies whose raison d'etre is to ensure that we remain in a perpetual state of begging. That is what we are doing to warn ourselves. And we are not for 1 minute saying that we will shut ourselves out from the rest of the world. What we are saying is that we must define how we engage with the whole world. And we are saying that as individual countries, we are weak, and the rest of the world wants to operate and to deal with us in our weak state. And we are saying further that going forward, we must also recognize our internal weaknesses. And what is our weaknesses? Chinua Achebe said it very well. The problem of Africa is simply and squarely one of political leadership. The rank of many political leaders in Africa are thieves. Let's call them by their name. They are thieves. They are individuals who are not interested in the interest of this country. And as long as we continue electing such individuals into positions of power across Africa, they are going to be manipulated. What then is the responsibility of the citizenry? The responsibility of the citizenry is to make demands. The chairman here, I hope he has received the several letters that I have written to him. I've written several letters to his organization talking about the role of the African Union in peacemaking. I wrote to the chairman only last week about the situation in Sudan, saying we must solve our own problems. And I want to see a crusading African Union, so that it's not the Americans and the Saudi Arabians who are summoning them to Jeddah. It should be in Addis Ababa. In a nutshell, Joe, what I'm saying is that we have a responsibility to ourselves, both at the leadership level and at levels of the civic society. We must be engaged in a positive manner, and we must keep on shouting without being diplomatic, because diplomacy is lulling us into a false sense of security. And lastly, I want to say this. When foreign powers come, we must always be reminded of these goodies that they bring to us. It used to be said of the Trojan War that even when the Greeks bear a gift, they do not mean well. They never mean well. And the sooner we say it, recognizing the external threat,
and until Africans start identifying with men and women that are speaking up to end this colonialism, not even new colonialism, this is a direct colonialism on us. It's just that they are now using those who are answering your names. That is what we call indirect rule. What is worse than pointing a gun at a people and mandating them to do your will and your bid as against their will and aspiration? What is worse than that? You're talking about coup in Africa. You're trying to teach us how to govern ourselves. You're trying to teach us democracy while pointing guns and missiles on our heads. This must got to stop. And it is only Africans that can stop it. Not the political class, not the compromised puppets of the West that continue to be an agent of imperialism and neo-colonialism of our time. Help me share this video if you buy into this message. As African spirit is waking up, may you help us to spread it like wildfire by sharing this video. Drop a comment on the comment section. I want to have your opinion on this. Bye-bye for now.